back, yeah, with a. This is a special episode of Make It Easy, the podcast, not just another episode, yeah. This is my brother, like. Before I was in music, before I was anyone of character, yeah, this guy had a plan for everyone, like, not just him. The plan was called I Am Entertainment. But I'm not going to go there, I'm going to let him speak to it. We got a special guest, yeah? You know, say what your name is now. Obviously, I know you was Payne, but what is your name right now?
Man, I still go by Payne in certain circles. Maybe Payne first.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Dwain Henry. Is my name established. I got two companies which I hope to get into. One of them is Eco First Bristol. The other one is All on Board Bristol. So as under those bases, I'm known as Dwain Henry. I operate under my government. I'm under my government on my Facebook, and I think I'm can't fake true love on the insta. But yeah, solidly Payne in certain circles, but Dwain Henry in business.
There you have it from the man himself, yeah?
Mm.
But, like, we haven't seen each other for a minute, so
Yeah.
we are going to go back a bit still.
Yeah, let's go back a bit.
And have that conversation, because I know you've had bumps on your journey, yeah? Not to say that you've not overcome them.
Exactly, yeah.
But you've had trials then and tribulations that have got you to the point where you are right now.
100.
So I'm going to take you back to when I met you, when you was just starting I Am Entertainment, yeah? So most people know what that is, but for the international audience that don't, explain to them what that was for you and what you adhered for it to be.
I Am Entertainment was amalgamation of the movements that I had seen already operate in Bristol. And I would say from Massive Attack to, you know, Goldie, Bad Breed. I looked at what Matthew Ward did, you know, with BS5, Urban, SP, Lionface. That's the name for the Fifth Element even. Let's take it there. I looked at a certain group of individuals musically and what they did, and decided to kind of form my own, but have it be more commercial. So effectively, it was everything that the scene needed at the time. So we had comedians, we had singers, we had dancers, we had poets, we did events, we taught sessions to young people, delivered them in schools and in youth forums and youth projects. We had a stage at Carnival. We released CDs, sold T-shirts and merchandise. Even we had a couple studios at a time. I think 3 studios underneath us in which we recorded with most of the dominant artists in the scene. And even nowadays, a lot of the artists that I see that are doing well, I see you. A lot of them, they would either been like, you know, people who attended sessions with like myself or Calais or Rem or another member of I Am Entertainment. So in a way, we kind of shaped the scene that's there as it is, based on the influences I personally took from other movements and stuff that were operating in Bristol.
Did you achieve what you wanted to out of that?
It got very big very fast. Like we had like the then owner of I can't remember what she actually changed it. I think it was called Penny Cassie Global International Services, but she's who took over Death Row.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had a contact from Death Row who wanted to buy our physical and digital distribution instantly. We were in with One Extra, performed at Mogbo's, Glastonbury, Ashton Court, Bristol Harbourside, had our own stage at Carnival. We did well. So I wouldn't say that we didn't achieve things, but I can't honestly say we achieved everything we set out to do, you know. But life being life, you know, people have children, you know, just it's not even like bad blood. People's priorities change, you know. As I said, people have children, and then their commitment made way for rappers want to be singers, singers wanted to be dancers, producers wanted to rap. So at a certain point, it just made more sense to me to maintain the friendships and dissolve the business.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I dissolved the business and maintained all of the friendships within I Am. So personally, I wouldn't say there's any bad blood.
And that's important for people, yeah, because if you follow the movement like what I did, then you'll see that there was never any negative comments made about Payne or any of the other group members amongst one another, because, like he said, he dissolved it to maintain the brotherhood, and that did maintain. And I think that's important today, because loyalty doesn't seem to mean as much in all areas of life as it did for you when you made that group.
Oh, 100. Loyalty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, like beauty, passion, and a lot of things, trust.
Yeah.
So is a lot of people only be able to offer the version of loyalty which they know,
Yeah.
or they perceive to have, and some people sadly will take kindness for weakness. You know what I mean? And it's funny. So there's a lot of people that may have took me for help in a certain circumstance that now wish I was around.
Yeah.
You know,
But they don't miss you till you're gone.
Yeah, and they will see me and say, hey, it's nice when I was around you.
They can appreciate it now.
And and the vibe is that, I missed this, we should. And I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, it's nice to see you, I wish you the best, but I'm
not in that place.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm nice as I am. You know, life's nice. As you see, I came here with my partner.
Of course.
Which is nice. I go everywhere near enough with my partner. Not everywhere. There is, certain things that you have to do alone and tend to alone, but yeah, in a healthy way. That's where my life is now centered around maintaining important bonds, setting an example amongst young people. And if I can spit a rap or two somewhere in between that, then I might look at it one day. But yeah, it's more about just kind of passing on a lot of the energies and mentalities and mindsets that was poured into me as a young person. Because I literally feel I feel even like they have like the heroes of St. Paul's. You know, these guys that everyone sees on these big memorials. I grew around these individuals. I knew them, sat in their house, ate food. So I just have to appreciate that and try and share, as I said, all that's been poured into me. So that's where my focus has been on shaping my business and based on personal circumstances. I've got like the Building a Better Bristol Award. I've got like the Mayoral Award. I got all of these accolades, but still in the streets, I'm still treated like just another brother. When it comes to the police, when it will come to the courts, and I'm known as one of the best dads and champion. You know, people say, oh, you and your kids. Oh, I do this like you did that. And how's your kids? And I'm going through problems right now where, it's difficult to see and have my children without going through drama and this and that. And it's just led me to see, whereas I thought a lot of people had certain issues in their life based on their own behavior or something they did, I now understand that the system is literally designed around money. Everyone knows the money's in the medicine. So curing someone isn't going to be beneficial to the system when they can make so much money off medicine, medicating you, making you comfortable. I believe the same approach is taken to working with family court and young people and parents. You go to the court and you're in there for whatever reason, you're accused of whatever heinous thing, and you're sat there answering this. Everybody's getting paid. The judge, the solicitor, like the Kafkas, everyone. Even if you see a message, you say you're providing that, then even the other party is being paid in that process. Except for the father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is you could look at it as a type of even financial abuse.
These are processes, but as a dad, these are emotions, these are your kids, these are your
Exactly.
spirit, these are things that mean something to you personally, and these other things are just processes that don't actually help you get to where you need to be and where they need to be.
Exactly. And they don't take, as you say, those emotions which would dictate certain actions
Of course.
into account. It's illogical to not have the two in the same forum.
Yeah.
But this is not how they operate, as it doesn't benefit them to.
Yeah. Because it's
They,
not cost
they don't,
effective. It's more money for them to run it out.
which I understand. So as you said, you have to go through processes, and so that's what I'm doing. But equally, within lockdown, I was attacked. On my street, random, mad, and it's like still going through legal proceedings for this. So I don't want to talk too much, but they just played with the wrong guy. You know, yeah, I was splitting up a vocation which had nothing to do with me, which made its way towards me. And in doing so, some guys thought they would run down and attack me.
Try and make you the victim.
Yeah,
and it just
made
wasn't
me,
that situation.
and one thing went to another, and it escalated to, you know, swords being swung and bats and stuff like that. So I'm fine, as you see, I'm fine. I did not have a sword or anything like that. It wasn't me, but I'm fine. And ultimately, I just have to kind of explain that I had to defend myself, and that if I didn't take the actions I took,
then you wouldn't necessarily be here to speak about it.
No, I would not be here if I didn't take the actions I took to defend myself, amongst many witnesses.
Yeah.
When you are exemplary, and when you are, you know, like a spearhead of the community, and when you do represent righteousness, and people will go out of their way
to try and make it not that.
To try and smear you and smear your reputation and smear you. And me being rebellious, sometimes I have been my own worst enemy in my reaction to these challenges. And that's what I've learned.
You have certain amount of experiences, and then you have to, not saying that those experiences are your fault, but how you react to them is the only thing that you're really in control of at that moment, right? So, but like you said, if it's living or not living, then you have to live. So
yeah, and there's also, I was protecting like my family and children at the time who weren't far. And you know how things go in the area once you're down the next, you know, so things will progress a certain way. So yeah, I neutralized the situation nicely. Police came at the time, based on all the accounts of the witnesses and stuff. They sent me home, said, you know, someone will be over to discuss me. But as we said, due diligence. You know, things get caught in a left. So after a while, I don't know, things went left. I ended up a suspect. Years later, this is all about, as we know, lockdown was how many years ago?
2-3 years ago.
Okay, yeah, but now I'm in court. Based on something which for me feels like a lifetime ago. So yeah, I'll hopefully get a verdict for this, good or bad, by the end of this month.
Okay.
But yeah, it did literally encourage me to be the best version of myself. Easy. You know what I mean? Like really try to be the absolute best version of myself, and also encourage anyone that I care for to do the same, and in the same vein, and so far that's going well for me. That's still a journey I'm on, of bettering myself and helping to better those around me, and it feels like a righteous path. It feels like if that can be my job, growing within myself and helping others to grow around me, why not?
Yeah.
And not many have the expertise or, you know,
the
experience necessary to be able to deliver such a job role, but I do, you know. So it's been more than I am. I'm quite well known within that youth work.
Yeah, of course.
You know, worked in dangerous environments, prisons, and hard to reach young people, even in schools, and run youth centers and youth sessions and disability groups, and I've worked with elderly and disabled people as well in the social aspect, supporting ways. So even though I'm known a lot for, you know, artistry, poet, rapping, and all that, and I did work civilly within the city.
To build people in your community.
Exactly, and I've got accolades and certificates and a lot of supportive and council people that I've worked with, which has led me to want to basically build my own organization, which is rooted in prevention. Because as Jamaicans say, prevention is
better than cure, of course. I know that.
So rather than work with all of these youths after they're bad, why don't we try and stop some of them from being bad in the first place? And this is basically what my organization is built around, that notion of prevention and stopping people from gaining or worsening issues which are simultaneous with British urban culture. You know, so we're talking about mental health.
Which we don't really talk about.
We don't talk about. We're talking about crime and crime prevention. You know, we're talking about substance abuse. Another elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, all of these issues which you'll find in impoverished areas within British society or within urban environments particularly, and yeah, that's my job. That's where I've took my hat off to. It's been about a year and a half. We're still shaping a lot, but yeah, it's been going really well.
So what does that consist of? Is it the same as kind of what you're doing before going into schools, or how do you kind of find the people that need your help?
To be honest, people have always made themselves available to me. You know, I guess I have a certain character, and yeah, but I will be getting people signposted through me through like the NHS, you know, through schools, you know, like officially. Once I develop the safe space
to do that,
to do that, which is integral to deliver my service. So at the moment, I will deliver from places within the community where my target audiences will feel safe. You know, so someone from No West may feel safer in a Fieldwood Centre, and someone from, you know, this way place may feel more and someone from say South may feel more safe in the Greenway Centre. So it's about kind of like understanding the individual I'm working with and where they're at and making a plan from there. But ultimately, I just want to deliver sessions and workshops. And nothing deep from 1 or 2 places that will just help people look at things in a different way, challenge perspectives, understanding, lift aspirations. A lot of the stuff I've did, a lot of people will say isn't possible. Working in BBC, I worked in 3 different areas of the BBC. People don't really do that. They normally work in radio, or they work in program design, or they work as a cameraman or shop logging. But I did all of them, you know, and I worked in the different sides of the BBC, which is something I believe at the time when I did it, no one had did for about 12 years. I'm not sure if anyone's did it since. If they hadn't, then that would be quite a thing. So yeah, I don't know. For me, right now, is just continuing with the growth and bettering bonds, because ultimately I feel your quality of life is dependent on your ability to adapt to change.
100%.
And the stronger your bonds are with those people around you, the easier it is to adapt to change and to go through change as a unit. You know, which is something we need as humans, you know, a family unit.
We're social creatures, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
And also, I think healing some of the bonds that we have not maintained. Like dads, for example, is in our community, it's a thing where we don't all have them, and some of the ones that we have, they're maybe not as strong when you're young, and then you build it when you're older, and there's a lot of understanding that we miss. So for example, our parents, I remember we had this conversation before, our dads were never hugged by their dad.
Not a thing.
Like, that's not, you get licks, you get conversation, you don't get hugs.
Yeah, exactly.
So we
discipline.
So we had to then learn to hug our kids, and not learn it from a sense of understand what that means to them, but also what it understands what it means to us to have love and demonstrate love
Mm-hmm.
in an environment where we've not necessarily received that because they've not received that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of understanding that we've had to bridge a big gap for, and then give to our kids so that that becomes normal to them, even though it wasn't normal to us.
Massively, like massively. I'm even encountering issues that I never seen my parents go through. I never seen my parents. My parents are married now. They're still together. They have a loving relationship. It's just me and my sister. I've never seen my mum ever attempt to stop me from seeing my dad,
Yeah.
or not support
Yeah.
me having a relationship with my dad. Even when he broke up at one point, which I remember, just never seen certain things, which are very common today in this society. So as parents, you kind of tend to look at what happened to you, and you know what and
That's
you
your
kind of
basis.
deliver, you kind of deliver what you agree with, and you kind of hold back what you disagree with as a parent. And it's funny that some of the things you disliked as a child, you still may decide that is agreeable as a parent. I didn't like this, but I'm going to use this tone at this point in time. So it's all a learning curve, I believe, parenting, right? But connecting with your father is I feel a kind of a developmental stage that you get to as a man.
100%.
You know, when you kind of let go of your programming and a lot of the things that we're taught as men. You know, we're taught what being a man is in a lot of ways by society and movies and all of these mediums, platforms and so forth, all programmed to fit a certain ideology of toxic masculinity, I would say it is.
100%.
You know what I mean? And we are the first generation to kind of recognize the patterns of toxic masculinity and start to try and actually uphold a more holistic version of masculinity, which would adopt different strengths, not just physical strengths, but as you're saying, emotional strengths, emotional intelligence, like being empathetic, caring, patience, humility.
There's people that we both know that committed suicide because of their mental health. Yeah, I won't say names because of the families.
And there's a few.
Yeah, there's a few, and if we had just had conversations with them, or if they, not even that, if we would have been able to talk to one another and they would have felt comfortable enough to come and sit down and just be like, you know what, right now I'm not in a good space. But where we're from in our communities, while we were younger, like mental health was one of those like a unicorn type thing. It's like everyone perceived that that wasn't for us. Like we have to be strong, you have to be this, and that those are one of the things that I always remember. Certain people that are not here anymore, that I feel could have been if they would have felt supported.
I remember, sadly, one of the two I actually spoke to while they were struggling, and they were vocal about struggling. Everybody knew they were struggling. This is the sad thing. But what do you do? How to help is and once things have gotten so bad, sometimes
You can't draw it back.
it's gotten so bad, so then it's just constant supervision because it's just gotten to this level now. This is the level it is. There's no way of reversing. This is as constant supervision as needed around this individual, and we all have our own lives. We all have our own. You know, the system is set in a way where it offers us money for our time. So then you can't offer someone constant supervision because then you have no gas, no electric. You know what I mean? No food. So you can't offer
that much.
That what is required. Sometimes in certain situations it's the harsh reality. So then you ask, well, what can we do as a society? You know, well, maybe if I say I watch these 3 hours and then you say you watch these 3 hours and we say, as I say, through unity there's power. Always. That was the basis of I Am. And the basis of any group that I had. I went into I Am as a member of Wolfpack. You know, and it was Wolfpack, Z6, and straight out of Bristol that basically sat down to develop I Am Entertainment. And it's a miracle as well. Habash and Cobra came into it. and they had a big impact on the whole thing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it it was always about there being power in unity, and that everyone has a different skill, something else to bring to the table, and it just happened to be my skill was leading.
Mm.
You know, it wasn't something I set out to do, or everyone said, "Oh yeah, yeah, Dwayne, you manage this," but
It just became
it
your
got to a
position.
certain point, and I was managing. So then I read the business plan and
Mm.
put things in perspective, and yeah, managed. Then that was it. I was managing. Come on, we got started setting up rehearsal spaces for us to go and rehearse, and I decided we needed to rehearse. Everyone thought it was just flying off, you know, guys.
Just jump
I'm
on
from the
stage
hood,
and just
right? Yeah, I don't need to rehearse. You try to say I know my stuff. All them arguments and all that. And I was young, so a lot of the time receiving ego, I responded with ego.
With your, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was young and flying on stage too.
Mm.
And telling the guy, well, my stuff's tight.
Yeah,
And I'm still rehearsing, so why don't you need to rehearse?
So in terms of the leadership thing, yeah, I want to touch
Mhm.
on that. What because you've always kind of been a leader and someone who can stand by yourself and build something
Mhm.
and make people come to it,
Mhm.
or build something with others and everyone go to the well at the same time, yeah?
Thank you.
But with leadership, what are some of the difficulties that you've experienced that you can give lessons to, especially when working with people that are your brothers and that your people?
That's the difficulty that I've learned. The difficulty sometimes will be working with people who you have an intrinsic relationship with.
Mm.
Because when the business goes bad, sometimes so will the relationship.
Mm.
And then you know you've lost the set. But at the same time, I'm very philosophical, so I will look at it like what will be, will be.
Mm.
You know, if we were meant to be cool, we will be cool, and if we ain't, we ain't.
Yeah.
You know, like things happen. I don't like everyone.
Mm.
Everyone don't have to like me.
Mm.
Like they never have, because I win often. Quite, we call it luck, skill, dedication. I win. So you're not liked when you win.
And you win, I think it's different as well, and I've experienced this myself. When you win publicly, like when you win in front of people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
other people kind of feel like that win should be theirs, or whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
But when you win publicly and you consistently win,
Yeah.
that's
It's something that's actually made me more recluse, easy, and made me just keep things to myself and want things to be less noted and less celebrated and less spoken, because that energy that you get for succeeding around people, because we all grew up together. You know, we all young playing in the park, snotty faces, same level. Yeah, we were all there, tip tops, sweating in the sun. So now we're adults, and people have seen where others' lives have gone and maybe where theirs are, and they may hold resent, or it may kind of be like a backwards compliment, you know, sometimes how I take the energy, because it's like people speak to you as if you're not the same person who was, say, eating a tip top next to them, sweating in the sun. Come from the same place. I just took my choices and made my choices and my decisions, and maybe sometimes being seen to fulfill my duty as I see it, or my role as I see it as an adult and as a Bristolian. It may make other people feel a certain type of way, but I would like to support those individuals now.
anyway.
Yeah, over than butt heads with them or have any bad or see them and meet them. Because people are weird. I've got kids, you know, and I think about these people now who are, you know, a certain way, and I think like, what if they're like talking in their kids' ear, like, yeah, go be on his son, like there's his son in the pot, and then go punch his son, and just weird mentalities. I'm just really trying to, like, as I say, just have strong bonds around me and just offer as much healing as I can. So at this stage, it's just about offering another route to a lot of people who may perceive their route as being determined for them. You know, because that's very much a thing in the city, feeling like you don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Why did you do that? Why did you make money in that one? You know, I didn't have a choice.
What else was I gonna do?
Yeah, what was that? You know what I mean? Yeah. why are you just home and doing like this? Why don't you try and what else? I mean, is people feel choiceless, and so in a way, there needs to be someone that's stopping people from getting to that point. As having young people, drawing in young people when they're around with a tip top sweating in the sun and giving them some aspirations and drive and will and you know that's what I feel we're meant to do as adults, and I feel is what happened in the community of St. Paul's when I was young. There's a lot of aspirational elders who poured a lot of their charisma and intelligence into us. And I feel it needs to be passed on.
Definitely. Yeah. So you said you got two businesses, yeah?
Yes.
So one is the kind of aspirational thing,
Yes,
about
working with
prevention.
young people.
Yeah. So what's the other one?
It's gardening. It's a gardening company. It's not just gardening. It's kind of like all things green. So it's called Eco First Bristol.
Okay.
Okay. And basically, what we do is we support people to just live a more healthier green lifestyle.
Okay.
But inclusive of that, we sell indoor plants, and we also like come over and do a plant consultation, help you teach you how to keep them healthy, where to place them, when to feed them, those things. We also help teach you how to develop a grow patch if you wanted to grow some food in your garden, agriculture. We also offer like landscape gardening, so like patios, repair fences, lay new lawns. If you want, you got a rocky, gravelly thing and you want to change it to lawns, and we do that. The catch with that is I work with some young people. I will offer employment to young people to join me on those jobs. But yeah, Eco First Bristol is kind of what we do. We're looking at kind of doing some community build, changing 1 and 2 parts and upgrading green spaces. Yeah, that's Eco First Bristol.
Okay, so how long has that been running?
It's been running about a year and a half, I would say. About a year and a half, about a year and a half.
Okay. So another positive thing.
Yeah.
So with the prevention, the workshops and that you do, is your long-term plan for that to be in other cities as well as Bristol, or are you just focusing on home for now?
Easy, you're that guy. 100%. Like the plan is to create. There's no one working in prevention. My organization, to my knowledge, is the only organization rooted in prevention. Most people work on post-traumatic care, post-event care. As you say, after a young person gets arrested, there's plenty of services that are available to them, or whatever. But like there aren't many that are there before when they're just being risky and that, and if they are, they're not gonna have interventions with them, sit them down and offer the same guidance and time. So my thinking is it would probably save the system on some people quite a bit of money if you can stop a young person going through all of these different systems and then these different avenues and right, by simply taking them on a horse ride. It's very effective working with young children, young people, who see themselves a certain way. You take them out and put them on a horse.
Do you know what's funny, right? When I was younger and my auntie used to run ventures.
Yeah.
Sykes, Sykes.
Go on.
Obviously, at the time, he was considered whatever, and we went horse riding on that trip that we went to, and it wasn't just him. There was other men that obviously I was young then, but they were the ones that were considered bad man, innit? And when you see a man who's a bad man put on the hat and the uniform and get on the horse and when you're not as in control on the horse and it is like it's a different setting, and you're in country, you're not in the city, you're not in those environments where
so the rules don't apply. You can't look harder than the horse, unless you John Wayne.
And survival is different out there. It don't mean the same thing.
And you won't enjoy the experience. There's something about the experience of riding a horse where you have to submit.
It's uncomfortable.
You have to you have to connect with the being, and you have to move with the horse, and so then you have to let go of even how you're being viewed, especially if it's the first time you're riding a horse, and So then it's just funny to see a young person just let go of all their bravado and all of their ego and just enjoy something wholeheartedly, put their whole self into it. And when you take that photo, bam, right then at that second when they're smiling, happy, just a young person,
that pure,
not bad,
just that pure,
yeah, no bravado, just that a happy smile, a child, and you show them that photo next time when they're tantruming or talking about stabbing you, or even that will happen when you work with young people.
Yeah, I know.
So you know, it's like this kid, this kid. So it is I feel having lived experience of certain issues the young people are going through is the difference with my organization. And the people that I work with also have lived experience of different issues. And the board that I have that overlooks my projects and that is going to evaluate my projects is consistent of people who have lived experience of the issues that will come by.
Network. I used to work for them still.
Oh yeah.
That was my first job.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Sibs.
He wasn't there then. It was Rupert.
It was Rupert.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I was Sid and Derek.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I've been getting schooled by these guys about social enterprise a little bit. Now I've been a social entrepreneur.
Of course.
Never really in the projects, but the rules change every now and again.
Yeah.
So I went a bit corporate, you know, working management, this and that. Then lockdown happened, rare. So I need to relearn edifying. So I've been looking at funding and how it goes, and I'm basically looking for just the right partner to develop all on board, someone who understands the vision and sees the potential in us, because we're market leaders. We're the market leaders of prevention, especially in Bristol and the Southwest. I can say that all on board Bristol is the market leaders for prevention of issues synonymous with urban lifestyle and culture in Bristol. So that's a unique, selling point, a very good USP. Yeah. So I've got very good feelings about where we're gonna go in a few years. I think it will be as big as your full circles one day. You'll see YNs and all these other organizations which work with young people. Why not? I would believe they would have started
at the same.
At a certain point with a few ambitions and then capability, and expertise, and then you deliver your aims and things grow. So yeah, that's just it. We're just building, as you say. I've been good at building things by myself and in groups, but where I feel I've personally failed is in sustaining it.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's where I was coming on to. So
yeah,
I've led groups myself with certain music things like that. But do you know what it is when leading and sustaining? When you're a leader, yeah, how do you consistently transfer the vision and the passion and all the things that you have that are really just within you to 9-10 other people every day? And I don't have the answer, yeah, because it's like when I do something, I'm equally as passionate every day.
Yeah.
Regardless to what I achieve on that journey. The passion at the beginning is the passion that I have at the end. But as you said, with priorities and with people then become ambitious themselves, which they should.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
But then when that doesn't align with, like, it's like, yeah, I want to support you to get to here, but we as a group are still not here yet either. So it's like, you want people to come with you to here and then support them to go where they are. But it's like, I've found personally that people want to jump ship.
It comes down to contracting and more to find that I'm very good creatively, leadership, delivering. As I say, even writing up a business plan, yeah, I'll do that. But then, like, contracts is something that I didn't really value having with friends, even until recently. Someone will hire you, come and
Paint my wall.
Yeah, come and, you know, make me a wall, you know.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, and you like have a plan and you agree the plan and then nothing goes to plan. And it's like, well, if I had a contract,
you still have to compensate
then yeah, it would just be set and it would just be here. But because we don't have a contract and we're friends now, we've got to discuss this. When am I gonna be paid? It's a discussion now because we didn't have the contract. So it's just having it, as I said, more commitment, which is why things wasn't sustained for me, because there was a point when I felt like my success was everyone else's, and a lot of people was just leeching and waiting for me to reach a point so they could say we made it.
And not equal contribution.
Not equal, because there was a lot I done that was said we done. You know, so there was several things that the guys did that I'm like, well, that must be mine too. If I'm doing everything in this week and then you go do everything something over that must be me too, right? Like, but yeah, it's just contracts and being really solid in your relationships and bonds with people, and understanding that, you know, relationships and bonds, they will cross over. You might have someone that you're professional with, but then you can invite them to your house, eat some food and sit down and then when you're back in a working environment, that will make
back to the pro
things more easier, because then you know, okay, we're working now, so let's work. And they want to disagree, no, let's not disagree. We're working. When at your house over a plate, if they want to now bring up that same disagreement from earlier, they can, because
you're not in that environment.
You're not in that environment.
It's more the separation.
I'm making yourself available in a way to have those conversations and to build those. So I've been kind of building a team for people who I'd like to work with around Oldham a lot more closely. I've been speaking and having a lot of conversations with them and stuff, and that for me has been really important. You know, it's like a pre-interview. I'm still gonna do the interview. I'm still gonna have the contracts and the processes, but
the warm up before.
Yeah, being sure and seeing how you and someone can reason and work, and those are the things that I feel I'm looking at, which will enable me to build something again. I built loads of things, but I want to build something and make it sustainable, legacy for my kids. You know, life is for loving and living. You know, and it's really important to wake up every day doing something you love. Really important, and we should buy into the heads of young people, like, do what you love. You're young. Don't choose Asda now. You know what I mean, brother? Yeah, don't put yourself in the Amazon line now. What you gonna do now? What's what you gonna know? What you wanna do? You say you wanna be a space cowboy. How'd you do that?
What does that
what you need? Spaceship? What's Elon Musk on? He might hear you. Yeah, he might, and this is where I'm at. I'm like, we need to encourage young people to do the things we couldn't do. We weren't encouraged to do.
And reach out.
Massive. I was doing massive things as a teenager, setting up twinning agreements between South Africa and Bristol, you know, Vuvuzela and Bristol particularly, massively, you know, but because a lot of elders didn't take responsibility for themselves, it gave us a false sense of security, like we had more time to achieve, and we had more time to do things and develop than we actually did, you know. And so why then carry that myth on to the next generation? Why not actually just stop them and let them know, like, do it now. Make your time help you develop and in the way you want to. Unless you want to work for McDonald's, and that's fine. That's what you want to do.
But that'll still be there in 10 years when you feel so young.
Yeah, but if you don't want to work for McDonald's, maybe you should just put your mind to whatever it is you want to do now. Or you want to learn how to draw. Or what you need, pencils, pens, rubbers. And this is what I want to do. And help young people find another way to release their frustrations and the route to release their aspirations. and to realize the aspirations as I really realized mine. So I did loads of stuff, loads. Everything I wanted to do realistically, you know. Like, Twinning Agreement, as I said, set up a I can't even know what to call it. It was a drug campaign, an anti-knife and drug campaign. Yeah, Sharp Shots, a campaign in 14 schools across Bristol. As I said, I was part of the Journey of the Griot, which is like it was like a show, a drama production, which went across Bristol. I helped kind of stage manage that as well. Wrote a little bit of the scripts. Was a poet for a time. My whole thing, performed across Bristol, rapping, and then there was I Am Entertainment, managed that.
Everything you wanted to do.
Yeah, like I've
did it.
gone to some more countries. Like I wanted to fill out my passport. I was about 12 pages short, you know, before I got my new one. Like I've lived a full life for 36, and I've had many achievements that I believe some people may have just want one of it within their lifetime, and I've just did it with just a blind belief of like, of course I can. We made everything. Go to the museum and look. It's our stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Whole country's built on gold. They ain't got no gold in England. That's our gold. Like I'm well aware of history and who we are, and you know, everyone knows that. Okay, the Australians, they say they know who's indigenous there, right? Everyone will know right at the bottom of the earth how many ever miles away from Africa the indigenous people of Australia, Aborigines, they are. What color are they? Brown. Black. Brown. All right, but in Greece, they would have you believe that the indigenous people are what? Caucasian.
Same like with when they teach
Egypt
in school, like you would think Egypt is like part of
Rome or something. And even when Zeus, his name in Greece is Ethiops. It's Ethiops, which is black, the black one. Like Zeus. Like so like Hercules then is what? Zeus is black. People like it's very damaging for us as a people to educate ourselves through a Western education system and to accept Western history as education. Like when I was 13, based on being, you know, educated in Saturday schools. When I was 13, shout out Mr. Davison. I had an argument with Mr. Davison, and I explained to him that basically Africa had kings and queens, not just pharaohs. He was telling me, no. Pharaohs, and I'm like, no.
That's just one part.
Like I'm trying to say, no, you had like kings, like Mansa Musa, emperors and empresses, which are above kings and queens. I started schooling, and I got kicked out of class, and my dad got called in, was in the head teacher's office, and we had this discussion where they basically broke down to me that because I was teaching stuff that wasn't part of the curriculum, I was disrupting the class, and if I continued to disrupt the class, I would get sent out and wherever. So they just decided that it wasn't for me, and I did geography. History is not for Dwain. It's not. So then I just grew up with this understanding that you want me to believe I'm less
in your box.
You want me to believe.
Because that's your narrative of what I am.
Yeah, because you're teaching everyone, and I'm not allowed to tell my brothers in the class who wasn't in Saturday school. Man, them what? Their parents didn't send them Saturday. Maybe they didn't know. Man, let's say their parents didn't know about the Saturday school. Let's say they couldn't afford the Saturday school. Whatever reason, they wasn't in Saturday school to know about Mansa Musa from them time there, right? So I was telling everyone in the class, yo, his stuff.
My man,
yeah.
That's like your king was good, but this man went through Egypt and disrupted the economic system by giving out money to the poor people. Because his gold was too pure and
you know what I'm trying to say? The whole story of Midas. You know, the tale. It was shaped from him and his glory and his rise and fall. King Midas, no, it's Mansa Musa.
And what was his fall? And you let man know he had what he had.
And where it came from, the source.
If he never left and travelled to do his like pilgrimage from the cross to show people the wealth he had, he would, or now he would, his family would have
with that wealth. And so is it was an understanding for me at a young age that people don't want me to achieve, and kind of healing a chip in my own shoulder where I didn't feel like anything. I kind of felt like I had to prove that I'm not what they perceived me to be, this massive chip. Like, prove that we come from kingdom, and prove we should be something different. And it's important to allow people to not be forced to accept a toxic version of positivity. Where because you're positive and you have nice ambitions, then you're meant to accept all manners of disrespect.
Yeah.
And all manners of behaviors. And all manners of unknown.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the other way.
Yeah.
Because I'm so nice, because I'm so respectful, I shouldn't have to entertain
that which is less than the life.
Certain behaviors and certain energies. So I try to just, as I say, keep myself away, knowing that there's levels, you know what I mean, to understanding, to intelligence,
to everything,
you know, to conversation, you know, to reasonability. And so I just try to just harbor in my own space and connect with people who I feel rejuvenate and feed into my energy.
And can vibrate on the frequency that you're trying to live at.
Yeah, because it is all energy for me at this point. Life's a journey, and it's important to just be appreciative. You know what I mean? And once you appreciate what you have, then you can justify wanting more.
100%.
And I had so much easy. I had so much, and I appreciated none of it.
But do you know what it is as well, yeah? In some ways, like, you can be a victim of your own success.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this until I'd achieved certain things, yeah? Like, when I started out, I just wanted to be a rapper. Like, when I used to watch, like, certain man, like, C's and U's and MTG, and obviously you lot, like, that's what I wanted to be. But then, when I did songwriting and I did production, I did things for other people and earned money and, like you said, got certain accolades, I realized that once you have the thing that you wanted to achieve, you have that, like, 1 second where it's like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah,
and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Because, but for you, it's like, you had so many moments, within the space of, like, say, 7 to 10 years. You had so many moments.
For real.
Like, those seconds were like this, and then it's like, okay, but I've done that now.
And life's funny like that. That's my approach, bro. It's like, no matter who you are, you have something to bring to the table and something valuable. And as long as you're tuned in to what that is, no one can take you off your game, you know, or out of your spotlight or out of your power. And I think, like, anyone that cares for you or wants to see you do well will always enable you to stand and stay in your power. My whole thing is I just really want the community to survive. And if not the community, then the values of the community. You know, as I said, which is prevention is better than cure, bro.
100%. Bro, I want to end it there because that's where we started. Prevention is better than cure.
That's it.
And we went full circle. My brother, thank you for coming through, man.
Thank you for having me easy every time.
In a year's time, when your business is 2 years old, we're going to come back and see what the next part
is. That'll be nice still. I'll probably bring some young ones with me.
Yeah, do it. We're going to leave it there. You heard it here, yeah? Make It Easy, the podcast. I'm here with the guy himself, Dwain Henry, Pain, whatever you want to call it, but you know, it's positive moves from here on. I'm out.